Yes, children, moving to VSPR theory, we know what is valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. Already we have done. This is a recap. See, the direction of bond around an atom depends on the electron pairs. So, I have my central atom. What is the direction of bond around that central atom? It depends upon the electron pair. Electron pair is including both bonding electron pairs as well as non-bonding electron pairs. Now, these electron pairs, because of negative charges, they are going to repel each other. So, my geometrical arrangement will be favored in such a way such that where electron repulsion is minimum. So, this is called as VSPR theory. So, what is VSPR theory? The direction of a bond around an atom depends upon bonding and non-bonding electron pairs. So, because of the electron repulsion between the electron pairs, a geometry is favored in such a way such that electron repulsion is minimum. Now, what is dipole moment of a molecule? I have already explained this when I was dealing with the positive inductive effect and negative inductive effect. A molecule will be having a dipole moment, and dipole moment of a molecule is equal to is nothing but a product of charge, which can be positive charge and negative charge, and the distance between the atoms. Done. And what is resonance? See, in some particular compound, say for example benzene, what happens? All the properties of the compound cannot be explained in a single structure. We need 2 to 3 structures. Such structures are called as resonating structures or canonical structures. Okay, clear. So some compounds like benzene, all the properties cannot be explained in a single molecule by a single molecule. So we need to have a resonating structure like 2 to 3. So those structures are called as resonating structures or canonical structures. Say for example, the structure of benzene can be written like this, right? 2 double bonds here and 1 double bond there. Or otherwise, you can write single bond here and double bond here. So these are the 2 resonating structures of benzene. Now what is resonance energy? Resonance energy is difference in energy of actual structure of a compound and the most stable resonance structure. So in these 2 resonating structures, one should be stable and the actual structure of the benzene, right? So resonance energy is nothing but difference in energy between the actual structure of the compound and the most stable resonating structure. This is called as resonance energy. Yes. Yes. Next, how to predict the hybrid state of atom in a different species. I am going to predict the hybrid state of atom in different species. How to do that? So there are 4 steps involved in it. Let me explain you what are the 4 steps. First, we need to know the valence electron of the central atom. Okay. So whenever I am given a complex, I should identify the central atom. Once I know the central atom, I should know the I should know the valence electrons, the last electrons which is present in the valence shell, that should be known, that is V. Okay. So first step is we should know the valence electron of central atom. What is the second step? You add the number of surrounding atom except oxygen. Now along with the central atom, you have surrounding atoms, right? You need to add the surrounding atom, but no need to add for oxygen. Okay. So surrounding atoms should be added. Step 2. What is step 3? If it is possessing a positive charge, then you subtract it. If the central atom is possessing a negative charge, then you add it. Okay. Third step clear. What is the 4th step? Now divide the sum by 2 so that you will be getting the value of x. So these are the 4 steps how to predict the hybrid state of atom in different species. Now this is the formula. To know the value of x, what is the formula? X is equal to half number of valence electron present in central atom plus surrounding atom plus or minus E. Okay. Say for example children, if the value of x is equal to 2, then the structure should be 2. So s and p orbital should be involved. If the value of x is 3, then it should be sp2 hybridization. If the value is 4, then it is sp3 hybridization. If the value is 5, then it is sp3d. Okay. If the value is 6, it should be sp3, then d2. 2 plus 3 5, 5 plus 1 6. So it goes on like this. So now we know the steps to predict the hybrid state of atom. So what are the steps we know and what is the formula we know. if you are getting x value as to what kind of hybridization may happen. If the value of x is equal to 5, then what happens to hybridization? This is all clear. But remember children, this is a very shortcut to do the hybridization procedure, but this procedure will not apply to polyatomic molecule. That is, if you have only one central atom, you will be able to find out the valence electron of central atom. Suppose you have a polyatomic molecule, in that cases this won't be applicable. Okay, there are two conditions where this cannot be applied. So in case of polyatomic molecule, this step cannot be proceeded, this formula cannot be applied. Now let me cite you a few more examples. I have just written some problems here and we are going to deal with finding the value of x. Now here BF4, in this the central atom is B. So how many valence electron are present in boron children? It should be 3. Okay, so 3. And how many surrounding atom? 4. So 3 plus 4. If minus sign is there, what should I do? I should add 1. So divided by 2, 7 plus 1, 8. 8 by 2 is equal to 4. So in BF4 minus, the hybridization should be sp3. Okay children, clear. Now moving to IF3, what is the valence electron present in I? It is 7 plus surrounding atom is 3. There is no charges, so no need to do anything. 10 by 2 is equal to 5. So it should be sp3d. 3, 4, 5. Okay, done, clear. Now moving to SO2, the number of valence electron is 6. Oxygen I should not calculate, right? So 6 by 2 is equal to 3. It should be sp2 hybridization. Okay children. Now coming to I3, I have already discussed this problem in one of the videos. So I3 can be represented as I2 minus. The valence electron of iodine is 7 plus 2 surrounding atom. Minus is there, so plus 1 charge. 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 by 2 is equal to 5. So it should be sp3d hybridization. Now SO4, sulfur, it is 6. Oxygen I should not calculate, and minus 2. So what I should do? I should add it. 6 plus 2, 8 by 2 is equal to 4. So this is sp3 hybridization. Okay. CO3 2 minus, carbon the valence electron is 4. Oxygen should not calculate, minus 2. So I should add it. 4 plus 2, 6. 6 by 2 is equal to 3. So this is also sp2 hybridization. Okay children. So this is how we can predict the hybrid state of atom in different species. You should know the valence electron, then surrounding atom. Then third step is if it is negative charge, add. If it is positive charge, minus. This depends upon the gaining of electrons and losing of electrons. Then you apply it in the formula. Now if the value of x is equal to 2, then what happens to the type of hybridization? If it is 2, it should be sp. If it is 3, it should be sp2. If it is 4, it is sp3. If it is 5, then it is sp3d. And if it is 6, it should be sp3d2. Like that it goes on. Now I have solved few problems based on this. Now let's move to actual hybridization. Before moving to actual hybridization, you should be knowing two important concepts. Like you should be able to remember. Now you are aware that how to predict the hybrid state. Now there is one more shortcut which I want to discuss with you. Single bond should have a sigma bond. A single bond should have a sigma bond. And a double bond should have 1 sigma and 1 pi bond. Okay. And a triple bond should have 1 sigma and 2 pi bonds. So this is an important tableau column which you have to remember. Okay. Now the next important hint will be carbon attached to single bond, carbon attached to double bond, and carbon attached to triple bond. What happens? Carbon attached to single bond should be sp3 hybridization. Carbon attached to double bond should be sp2 hybridization. And carbon attached to triple bond can be sp hybridization. So this is also one of the shortcut for you. So whenever you see single bond, 1 sigma bond is present. When you see a double bond, then 1 sigma, 1 pi is present. If you see a triple bond, then 1 sigma and 2 pi is present. And a carbon attached to single bond, then it is sp3 hybridization. Carbon attached to double bond should be sp2 hybridization. Carbon attached to triple bond should be sp hybridization. Now let's work on actual hybridization. Yes children, I have told you if the value of x is equal to t, x is equal to 2, then what happens to the type of hybridization? It should be sp, the molecule will be linear in shape. What is the bond angle? It is 180 degree. If the value of x is equal to 3, then 3 sp2 px py. It should be trigonal planar. Since it is 3, it is trigonal planar. The bond angle is 120 degree. Now if x is equal to 4, yes, px, py, pz. It is tetrahedral in shape. It should be 109.5 degree angle, bond angle. Now if x is equal to 5, then I should have 5. That is yes, px, py, pz, d. So it should be, I have divided this 5 into trigonal bipyramidal. Bipyramidal 2, trigonal 3. 3 plus 2, 5. So trigonal, what is the bond angle? 120. For bipyramidal, it is 90 degree done. Now if x is equal to 6, then it should be yes, px, py, pz, dx square, dy square. It should be octahedral. The bond angle should be 90 degrees. So whenever you are planning to find out the hybridization, if it is a single central atom, try to determine the value of x. Then you will be deriving the type of hybridization. Then you should write the possible geometry of the compound. Then you should write bond angle. So these are the 4 steps involved in writing a type of hybridization. Say for example, they are giving a particular molecule called ethane and they are asking you to write the hybridization. Then for ethane molecule, you need to derive to the hybridization. Then write the possible geometry. Then write, this is geometry is nothing but shape of the molecule, right? Then you write the bond angle. This will be quite same, but if at all that particular central atom is having a lone pair, means non-bonded pairs. The pair of electron which is not involved in the formation of a chemical bond is called as non-bonding pairs, right? And bonding pairs, I mean bonding pairs are nothing but electron pairs which are involved in the formation of a chemical bond. So if non-bonding electrons are involved, then this shape will be quite different, which we have seen in 2 tabular columns. I have explained very well in the PPT. Yes children, we will be dealing with hybridization. Yes children, moving to the hybridization, the first type of hybridization which we are going to see is sp hybridization. We know when it is sp hybridization, the molecule should be linear in shape, the bond angle should be 180 degree. For that, the first example I have taken is BeF2. Beryllium's valence electron is 4, so it is written as 1s2, 2s2, which is in ground state. When it is excited, one of the electron from s orbital enters p, so this s and p hybridize to give you sp hybridization. You know the shape of s orbital and we know the shape of p orbital, so it should be like this. So this is sp hybridization of beryllium. This beryllium is going to form a bond with one fluorine atom and another fluorine atom. So one sigma bond and 2 sigma bonds are produced. First case is done. Now moving to the second case, C2H2. This is nothing but ethyne. This is ethyne. C 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So this is the structure of ethyne. So I have already given you a hint. Carbon attached to triple bond should be sp. Attached to double bond sp2. Attached to single bond sp3. Now in this, how many sigma bonds are present? 1 2 3. 3 sigma bonds are present. Okay. Since it is triple bond, there should be 1 sigma and 2 pi. Okay children. So this is 1 sigma, this is 1 sigma. Here also 1 sigma and 2 pi. So 3 sigma and 2 pi should be there. Now how to draw the structure of sp hybridization? We know carbon's structure, s orbital and p orbitals hybridization, where your x and y orbitals are involved. Now this is going to hybridize with a 2 hydrogen molecule. Now there is a self hybridization. There will be a bonding here and one should be like this and another p should be like this. So here 1 sigma bond is there already. Now H2, no? So this should bond with 1 hydrogen and here 1 hydrogen. So here 1 sigma, here 1 sigma. 3 sigma bonds are tallied. Now 2 pi bonds I should draw. 1 pi bond here and second pi bond 1 and 2. This is second pi bond. Okay, can you see? You are not able to see? 1 second children. Yeah. I am repeating the structure ethane. Ethane structure is C triple bond C. I have to attach 1,1H because it is C2H2. When you look into the structure, I got 3 sigma and how many pi bonds are present? 2 pi bonds are present. Here 2 should come children. So 2 pi bonds and 3 sigma bonds are present. I have drawn the sp hybridization of carbon atom, where your sp hybridized carbon is going to attach with a 2 hydrogen atom. So I have got 1 sigma, 1 sigma, 1 sigma, 3 sigma. This sideways overlapping 1 pi bond and here one sideways overlapping. So one more pi bond. So I have got 2 pi bonds and 3 sigma bonds. Now let me draw the structure for carbon dioxide children. Yeah. Children, we have seen sp hybridization. Under sp hybridization, I told you 2 examples. Next is sp3 hybridization. We know if the hybridization is sp3, the possible geometry should be tetrahedral and the bond angle should be 109.5 degrees. Now the structure is C2H6. Okay, so carbon 2, H is 6. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how we need to write the structure. A carbon attached to single bond is sp3 hybridization. Now let us calculate the number of sigma bonds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There should be 7 sigma bonds. So when you draw sp3 hybridization, then I should draw the structure as s orbital has overlapped to px, py and pz. Now this, there is no any self overlapping because there is no any pi bond here, no children. So second molecule of carbon, now this is going to hybridize. This is spx and py. Now how many bond, sigma bond is formed here? 1 sigma bond is formed here. How many hydrogen atom I should attach children? 6 hydrogen I should attach. Yes, no. So second sigma bond 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are 3 hydrogen atoms. So these 3 and these 3, 6 hydrogen atom and in between 1. So 7 sigma bonds are formed in case of sp3 hybridization with the molecule ethene. Okay. Now, but when we look into the actual structure of ethene, this won't correlate actually. There is one particular structure which won't follow to our rule, that is carbon attached to single bond should be sp3 hybridization, carbon to sp2 and carbon attached to triple bond is sp hybridization. We saw this example, but when you look into the structure of methane, methane structure should be CH4, correct? What is the structure of ethane? It should be C2H6. Okay, that's what I have drawn the structure for sp3 hybridization, one of the example. When you try to work out all, definitely you should get doubt, let me know. Now in case of sp2 hybridization, this is ethane, right? We have saw the structure of ethane under the sp3 hybridization. Next example is sp2 hybridization. sp I have explained, sp3 I have explained. So what is left out? sp2 is left out. For that I have the structure ethene. Double bond should be present here, correct? As it is adding, no, carbon attached to double bond should be only sp2 hybridization. That is carbon and carbon double bond. Hydrogen should be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is the actual structure. And if it is sp2, the shape should be trigonal planar. 1, 2 and 3. Trigonal planar. The bond angle should be 120 degrees. Now let us calculate the number of sigma bonds present here. 1 sigma. Here is 1 sigma, 1 sigma 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 sigma bonds and 1 pi bonds should be present. Accordingly, you can draw the structure. So we have seen sp, sp2, sp3 hybridization with examples. Now I just want to explain this too. This too is quite different. See, when I look into the structure of NH3 and water molecule, they both come under sp3 hybridization. Nitrogen's outermost shell has 7. So 7 plus 3, 10. 10 by 2 should be present, but what I have done, 10 minus 2 I have done. So this is due to the presence of one lone pair. So 10 minus 2 is 8 by 2. 8 by 2 is equal to 4. If it is 4, it should be sp3 hybridization. Similarly, in case of water molecule, oxygen is the central atom. So it is 8 and hydrogen is 2. So 8 plus 2 should be 10 by 2. Okay, it is 10 by 2, but I should subtract 1 minus 2 because of lone pair of electrons present here. One lone pair is equal to 2 electron pairs. So this is also 8 by 2. 8 by 2 is equal to 4. If it is 4, it should be sp3 hybridization. Clear, children? So you need to understand only two aspects of this. You need to know the shape of s orbital, p orbital, number of valence electron, number of surrounding atoms. Then if it is holding positive charge, subtract, minus charge, add, then apply it in the formula. What is sp3 hybridization? Carbon attached to single bond is sp3, carbon attached to double bond sp2, carbon attached to triple bond is sp hybridization. And there is only one last example left out, which is in case of BF3 and NH3. Okay, one is BF3 and NH3. Okay, children. We know about nitrogen 7. This is plus 3. So 7 plus 3 is 10 by 2, but lone pair of electron will be present, so minus 2, which should be sp3 hybridization. So boron, the outermost number should be 4 and plus 3, 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. And this boron will not follow the correct octet configuration. This is a deficient in octet configuration. But when it is going to pair with NH3, it also shares because of the formation of coordinate covalent bond. This also goes to the category sp3 hybridization. The structure will be B, F3, F. This will be bonded to N, H. Due to the formation of coordinate covalent bond, they both of them share sp3 hybridization. Okay, children? So the last topic will be about orbitals, bonding orbital theory, bonding molecular orbital theory and anti-bonding molecular orbital theory, which will be seen in the form of slides. Thank you, children.